so much for tuning in. Today's video is a Dollar Tree Farmhouse Valentine's Day decor. Now this is really similar to my farmhouse laundry sign that I made, and I'll link that video below. But of course this has a Valentine's touch to it, so it's a little girly. And one of my favorite things about this is that it actually transitions really well to everyday decor. So even after Valentine's is over, you can keep this up in your house and display it all year round. So I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And please hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Let's go ahead and get started. For this tutorial, I'm going to use 3 of these Dollar Tree signs with the little galvanized hearts because I really wanted to use these in another tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything off of the signs, all of the extra string, and to remove the galvanized hearts, I'm going to use a little spatula from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to use this later on as well. So I really wish I would have read my subscriber's suggestion to heat this up before trying to remove it, but unfortunately I filmed this before I even showed my haul video, so it did take some power to get this off and some of the paper did rip, but that is completely okay because we're just going to grab a sanding sponge and sand this off. But if you are at home, you might want to take a hairdryer and warm up the glue. I'll leave her comment somewhere above so you guys can see her suggestion. Now to bind them all together, I'm going to flip them over, and instead of gluing each plank together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some popsicle sticks, which I got at Dollar Tree, and start attaching them at the seams. That way none of the glue drips forward and creates extra texture. So what I'm going to use is some of my Gorilla Wood glue to start attaching them everywhere that I can. You can use any kind of glue that you want, but I had some left over and I kind of wish I would have used it for the other part of this project, but hey, we live and we learn. So I added a generous amount and started placing them at the seams, and then added weight to any area of the sign that wasn't exactly laying flat, and just kept placing them where I felt like I needed them. Then I added some extra ones at the seams itself, just to give it some extra security, and I let this dry. I could have let it dry a little bit longer, but I was really impatient, so I went ahead and flipped it over. Lucky for me, Gorilla Wood glue takes not too long to dry. So now what I'm going to do, and this part is optional if you're going to add a frame to it, I'm going to cover these up with Dollar Tree lightweight spackling. This is exactly the same thing that I used in my last tutorial using these signs, and I just wanted to cover up those holes so that when you paint everything is nice and seamless. So all you're going to do is push it in with your spatula and wipe the excess away, and whatever you get into those little crevices, you want to make sure that you remove them so that everything still looks like wood planks. To paint, I used Granite Gray from Apple Barrel. You can find this at Walmart for like 97 cents. Super duper cheap, but it does give off a blue hue to it. So I just added it to a little bowl, and while I'm painting, I'm making sure that I'm trying to cover all the letters, but I'm also trying not to get paint into those little crevices so that it still looks like wood planks. I'm not doing a very neat job painting, and that's okay because I want everything to look very weathered in the end. One thing to notice is that this paint covers up all of those red letters in one stroke, so that's amazing. So once everything is completely covered, I am going to grab some white paint from Walmart as well, and then I'm going to dry brush it on there. So even though things are still wet, I'm still going to go ahead and do this because if I get too much white, it is much easier to blend if your paint is still wet. So you'll see right here what I mean. So on areas where I'm getting a little bit too much white, what I'm doing is I'm mixing both colors or just putting the gray on top. It gives it a really nice whitewash effect. You can always go in with sandpaper and sand a little bit down, but make sure that you don't do too much because you still have that red on the bottom that you could potentially expose. So once everything is completely dry and ready, this is what it should look like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Dollar Tree wood heart. Normally I would stain something like this, but honestly I really loved how it looked unfinished with this color, so I didn't use any stain for the rest of this tutorial, which is unlike me because I love staining stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position it where I want it on the wood piece, and I'm going to hot glue it in place. I would use the wood glue, but honestly, this was a whole lot quicker, and I ran out because I went a little crazy when I was binding everything. Now I'm going to use this bouquet from Dollar Tree. I love it. I think it is so beautiful. I'm using my side cutters to cut everything down, and make sure that you're using side cutters instead of scissors. There is wire underneath this, and scissors just won't do it. Using my hot glue gun, I'm going to start adding strips of glue to the border and then pressing down those little stems or whatever they're called, making sure that I'm not touching them with my fingers. I always forget to use my finger guards. I don't even know why I bought them. So you can add as much or as little as you want. I tried to keep it very thin at the bottom and thicker up top. So this is what it looks like, and you can keep it as is, but I decided to make use of that little bouquet and use the greenery that came on it. I think it's some of the nicer greenery that Dollar Tree has. So I cut everything down. This you can cut with scissors because it doesn't have wire in it. And then I started to position it around the heart where I liked it, and I didn't like it up top, so I just kept it right at the bottom and started to attach everything using hot glue. Originally, I wasn't going to add a border to this, but I think it looks very, very plain as is. So I decided to do my usual, which is a Jenga border. And I will link the tutorial to the first video. I didn't want to make this video any longer. So these are the pieces that I used. I used 2 rows of 10 and 2 rows of 9. So guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This time around, I tried the hot glue method and I did not like it. It creates bulk between the Jenga pieces and makes everything a little bit uneven. But I did run out of Gorilla Wood Glue, and this had been suggested by so many subscribers, but I honestly don't recommend this. This is just not worth it, and it doesn't look as nice or neat. So the pieces that are short, the 9 pieces, they don't go on the side of the large ones, they go on top. I bound them using my hot glue, and as you can see, everything already looks crooked, and that's because of the bulk from the hot glue. So now I'm going to try and frame it, and you do have to move this around to figure out where it goes. But once you get a nice piece, you're going to hot glue this into place. Like I said, normally I would do this part using Gorilla Wood Glue as well, and just add some weight. And I think Gorilla Wood Glue gives you a lot more time to work and move stuff around. So I did end up with some pieces that I couldn't put back into place. When I was done framing, I still thought it looked a little plain, so I used these wood letters from Dollar Tree, and I got my husband's initial and mine. Well, y'all know my real name starts with a Y, but we're not talking about that. I just added some hot glue and positioned it where I wanted, and I could have spelled out our entire names, but I thought it looked really great just with the initials, and I think this would make such a great Valentine's Day gift. So when I was done, bam, I had a beautiful faux wood sign that is totally Valentine's Farmhouse and all year round worthy. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also check out that Dollar Tree Farmhouse wood sign video that I made. I do go way more in depth on how to frame that, and I also show you how to transfer letters without using a Cricut or Mod Podge. I love that video so much. As usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you on the next video.